Turning to politics, the Washington Post reporting that Hillary Clinton was responsible for personally generating more than 100 classified emails found on her private server. Joining me now, the trial lawyer and business ethics professor, Wendy Patrick. Wendy, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Maria.
What's your reaction to this? What strikes you?
Well, what strikes me about this race on both sides now is the fact that to voters, credibility counts. You know, on the GOP side, we've gone from attacking Donald Trump's insensitivity to his honesty. On the Democratic side, credibility has been something that has plagued Mrs. Clinton for years. And ironically, it's one of the reasons that Bernie Sanders is being described as a fresh face in the race on that account. So will this latest revelation make a difference? Probably not to Clinton supporters, because this is nothing new. I hate to say it that way, but from an ethics standpoint and a credibility standpoint, she'll come back and she'll have some explanation as to why we found the information we have. And people that support her and her policies aren't going to leave simply because of this latest revelation. I could say the same thing about Bernie Sanders, as there are some people that are so entrenched in the different camps that they just don't see it as the big deal that some of the other people are saying. It's not that big of a deal if you are already so entrenched on who you support.
Well, good morning, Wendy. This is Morgan. I think one of the things that strikes me is about 6 months ago, Hillary Clinton came out and told the American people, I never sent or received classified information. Since then, we found out that 2,079 emails were classified. 104 of them were sent by her directly that were classified. And we have several that we know that she sent personally that were top secret. So when you go into the election, Trump has said, I am going to hit Hillary Clinton on these emails every single day when I'm the Republican nominee. That's what I'm going to talk about. I think that she is so much more vulnerable, Dagan, than people are really talking about. And I think that if Trump goes in hitting her the way past nominees have not been able to fight back, I think it's going to be a whole new ballgame.
Yeah, Wendy, can it get worse? On that note, Morgan went through the emails, but now you have a lower-level State Department staffer who's been granted immunity. Maybe the FBI gets this wrapped up. But again, it's one thing on top of another, and it's a very, very bitter layer cake for Hillary Clinton to eat.
And I can tell you, Dagan, there's not a person in Washington with the top secret clearance that doesn't think that they would be in jail had they done this themselves.
Everybody I've ever talked to.
There's not one person in Washington.
Exactly.
And the reason these are such great points is because, as you say, that's one of the things that Trump suggests that is going to give him an advantage. Because we are now attacking him on Trump University, you see that coming from, boy, did you see that coming from all angles on the debate stage last week. But that is something that really is, it's the same caliber of information as we're now seeing tossed against Hillary Clinton. She made statements, right? Now people are saying, no, those were born classified. They didn't become classified afterwards. But so, too, on the GOP side, if it's going to be Trump versus Hillary, both of them now have a lot of material upon which we can attack them from all different sides.
A lawsuit over Trump University doesn't have anything to do with national security. I mean, this goes to your role as commander-in-chief. Are you protecting the nation?
Yeah.
Are you doing what's in your best interest versus the interest of the American people?
The former Attorney General.
That's right. Credibility. Yeah. Credibility on so many angles is important. When you talk about national security, I mean, that's one of the other places that people think, oh, well, Donald Trump may have an advantage. But when you look about credibility generally, can you believe what they say on the debate stage? I mean, Maria, I know you've been in the fray. You can only ask the questions and hope that you can keep control of the answers. Right. But credibility seems to permeate almost every issue we discuss when it comes to who do you want running the country.
Michael McCasey was on with us last week, the former Attorney General, and he made an interesting point, I thought. He was on yesterday on Sunday as well. And John Bussey, he said that when you look at how this has taken place, someone actually removed the markings. In other words, when she was moving her emails from government into her server, her personal server, someone had to actually either remove markings or change the markings. And there was one email that she said move to paper, change to non-classified in order to actually move it. So that's why this immunity situation is so important, because we are going to be able to understand better who it was who moved those markings.
So look, the FBI is going to get to the bottom of this. Eventually, we'll find all the permutations of emails that were and were not sent, and that she sent, and may have been classified, may not have been. Look, at the same time, I think to a certain degree, politically, the electorate is becoming inured to this, right? Petraeus, Colin Powell, Hillary Clinton, all sort of violating classified document sending and email sending. How much of this was classified after it had been sent? I think to
right. That's the question. Is what I'm saying.
I mean,
the markings were changed.
Yeah. I mean, the people who have made up their mind about Hillary Clinton with regard to the emails have probably made up their mind.
I agree with you. Yeah. The core.
We become so saturated. This issue. We become so saturated with this issue. Many people are almost immune to the effect that it's having.
Wendy, I
and
think
on
it's
the
right.
word, let me say. Yeah, and when you talk about immunity, let me say one thing about that as a career attorney.
Yeah, real quick.
When you hear that somebody has received immunity, all of a sudden red flags are up. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen? We shouldn't prejudge that simply because somebody has been given immunity to provide information.
Right.
You know, it's probably not. It never is as bad as you think it's going to be. So we'll keep that in mind as we don't judge her only in the court of public opinion, but let's wait for a court of law.
Wendy, thank you. Wendy Patrick there, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.